To give you guys a football example. To know if a goalkeeper has bravery, has courage, it is not when there is a line of 5 defenders standing in front of him or her. That's not how you know a brave goalkeeper. It's when there's no defense and there's 4 strikers coming and you see him running out of the goal, daringly jumping at the ball, then you know you have a brave goalkeeper. Not when you have the lines of defense ready. The bravery is tested when the unexpected comes, when you don't realize what's going to happen. I used to have a colleague at work. Every day at 12:30, he would tell the colleagues, I'm going for a walk. They think it's strange. Every time we go to eat food, this guy goes for a walk. Every day he goes for a walk. He comes back 25 minutes later. Rain, sun, snow. Ajib. I knew obviously he's going to pray salah. So I asked him one day, listen, Habibi, why don't you just tell them, I'm going to pray. Maybe one of them will start asking you questions about Islam. Why don't you just be yourself? You know what he said? He said, I'm scared. What will they think of me? You know, those who are grunting, there's about half of us in the room who are doing that at work. and the other half are saying, look at these guys. To be yourself takes courage. I remember the first time I came to the UK, I went to university in Nottingham, and a Muslim person came and introduced himself to me. He goes, hey, my name is Mo. My first time, right, in the UK. I'm thinking, what is wrong with this guy? He can see me. You know, I just prayed salah. I came. We saw each other in the prayer room. We saw each other in the mosque. He knows I'm a Muslim. Hey, my name is Mo. What's going on? I observed this man over time. I even remember in Ramadan, he would say, I'm not feeling hungry. Ah, miskeen, mashallah. What a great diet he's on. And he would never reveal himself to those around him. Why? I'm scared. I'm fearful. What will happen if they know who I am? What's the consequence? Will they exclude me? Will they treat me differently? Will they look at me differently? Will I not get the same privileges I used to get? There is this fear. There is this uncertainty. It requires bravery and courage to stand up and say, this is who I am. In the Meccan period for 13 years, there were a number of Muslims who were Muslims, but who kept their Islam secret. They did not have the courage and the strength to show it to everybody. But there were some Muslims who had the great courage to show who they were. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhuma becomes who he becomes later in Islam. He's a small, unknown shepherd. That's his job. He looks after sheep. He's a nobody. He's not from the great tribes. He's not from the great leaders. He's a nobody. He comes in the middle of Mecca, next to the Kaaba, stands, and he starts to recite the Quran. Ar-Rahman, allama al-Quran, khalaqa al-insan, allamahu al-bayan. People are throwing rocks at him, throwing things at him, attacking him, until he's bleeding. Then he goes back to Dar al-Arqam. The Prophet ﷺ looks at him, he says, don't go back tomorrow and do this to yourself. He says, no, I'm going to go back tomorrow. They cannot stop me from being who I am. This is the courage you need. You live in a climate where, because of Islamophobia, because of people's fear of Islam, their uncertainty, their perception of Islam, you start to think the solution is to not show I'm a Muslim, to show something else. And you know, at its root, and this is not a generalization, at its root, there is some level of nifaq, some level of hypocrisy in this action. Because nifaq, hypocrisy is what? Is to hide who you really are and to show something else. For the Prophet ﷺ to stand and pray salah in front of the Kaaba. And when he goes into sujood, 4 leaders of Makkah surround him. And they dump the innards of a camel on his head. And they strike him and they hit him until he's bleeding. Until Abu Bakr as-Siddiq comes running and Fatima, his daughter, comes running. And they push them away and they bruise Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. What does it take for a man to stay in sujood while everybody's attacking him? You have to be brave. You have to have courage. This is not a physical strength because he's not boxing with anyone, not fighting with anyone. He's not showing his biceps off to anyone. The biceps are in here. Of course, this is what I say all the time when people ask me why I don't do exercise. I always say the biceps. I exercise in my heart, alhamdulillah. You need to have strength in here. It's not just about physical strength. In fact, you see a lot of men, they spend a lot of their time trying to show everybody their physical strength. You have pictures from every angle for every muscle in their body, except the ones that are inside the awrah. Why? Because this man, actually, this young man, and I'm saying men because it's most often seen in men, deep down they have low self-esteem. They don't really have confidence in themselves. So they try to inflate their body in order to compensate. But at some point in time, if you are weak inside, it will come through. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, the same man who stood and recited Surah Al-Rahman, and everybody is attacking him. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud had the thinnest legs in Medina. One day he climbs a tree and the Sahaba start to make fun of him. They start to laugh at him because of the thinness of his calves. It's like a stick. They say, what is this? Look at this man. Is this a man or a stick? And they start to laugh at him. And the Prophet ﷺ tells these men, the calf of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is more heavier in the sight of Allah than the mountain of Uhud. What happened? He didn't do leg day. He wasn't exercising enough. Yes, he didn't show off his muscles, but there was a muscle that the Prophet ﷺ appreciated, and Allah appreciated more than this. The bravery to stand up for the haqq, for the truth, and not to back down, and not to cower away, and not to lie and twist and say, no, not really, maybe, but to say the truth as it is. There will come moments in our lives where our bravery and our courage will be tested. And this is the moment that it will reveal who are we really. Do we have that strength, or are we weak cowards no matter how many muscles we have? Today everybody is on the exercise hype. Everybody wants to build their body and look this and that, and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all of this. But nobody realizes the greater quality to have in the sight of Allah is the strength that allows you to stand up for what's right.